Alright, it is the weekend and I am happy to say I've got a huge mystery box here to open with you guys today. This is part 3 of Peter Brewer's Random Act of Kindness gift box that he sent me a huge amount of diecast over the last couple of weeks. It was all in one shipment, but it's taken me this long to get through all of the content that he basically provided, in such that it was a massive collection of 1/64 scale diecast, mostly Tamica, Matchbox, and really hard stuff to find, especially here in Canada. So a huge thank you, Peter, for sending me this portion of your collection, and so happy to review this with all of my viewers on the channel. I'm sure you guys are enjoying this as well, just seeing this stuff and maybe adding a few things to your wanted list if you're collecting anything along these lines. But it is extremely exciting, and this is a big, heavy box, very heavy, shipped at no small expense. We're going to open this box up. It's the last box of the 2 that Peter sent me originally. The video is broken down into 4 video parts because there's just so much to look at in here. So the first box, like I mentioned, a lot of the cars that we looked at, very cool. You're going to want to go back and check that out if you haven't seen it, but you're going to need about an hour to get through it all. It's a long video. There's hundreds of cars, and there could very well be at least 100 cars more in here. So we still have a 4th video yet to come for sure, which is looking through the 48 and 24 car carrying cases that were in the last giant parcel. I mean, the box was 4 or 5 times the size of this one. So something to look forward to, and of course regular content coming, at least 1 video in between each of these videos, and hopefully I will be getting some more videos out soon. It's a busy time for me, and video production hasn't been exactly what I wanted, but anyways, life does not stop. We got to keep moving, don't we? So let's get into this box. Got my knife, and I'm going to bring you guys along for the ride with me. Now this box is very heavily taped, and I don't know what's inside, so I'm not just going to start stabbing away at it. I'm going to get through the tape here, hopefully without cutting a finger off or anything like that in the process. I just don't want to slice through something important. Half the fun of these sorts of gift boxes is just opening up these cardboard boxes and seeing what comes out, because you're not going to see it all at once. That's by nature when they're stuffed full. So I think we're into it now. We can put the kniff aside. And what have we got? Oh my goodness. Would you look at that? There is a huge bag of just loose, random, really old looking cars. So we're going to go through that together. We're going to unbox it, it's unboxed. We're going to unbag it and pour these out on the table and sort them by type. I see some really cool cars in here. We've got an old Hot Wheels Dodge Omni. It's like some sort of Audi from Matchbox, a Toyota, some good old Hot Wheels in here. Majorette as well as a Majorette Toyota. Is that a Hilux or? Yeah, it could be. Very interesting. So let's just put that aside for now. And what else we got? That's probably the stuff that's kind of loose and damaged, so that's why it's all in one bag. Here are likely the items that are very potentially minty, and we've got some big model cars all bubble wrapped. Let's go through all this stuff. I'm going to get the bubble wrap things out because I can't even really see them with you. It's going to take too much to cut all that right now. We'll get all the loose items out, and then we'll move into that. This looks to be something from an HO scale setup. Lima, Italy is all it says. It's a completely plastic little truck, probably about 1/87th scale. And there's a little boat. That's a Matchbox boat, I believe, from one of the Matchbox cars of the late 60s. A couple more foam wrap bags, some bubble wrap, something large and light. It appears to be a tank. And something large and heavy, probably a model car. Got some trucks here. These look to be Dinky, but I'm not sure yet. Dinky Toy Delivery Service. I can read that through the bubble wrap, so that's going to be really cool. I love the old car hauler trucks. Here's another one. This is probably a Corgi, based on my familiarity with these models. We've got another Corgi here, Corgi Courier. Big trucks to look at. I love getting those big 1/64 scale or approximately sized trucks. And here we have one just peeking out. Oh, it's a beauty. A giant old Ford. It says Ford diesel on it. And it has some cars in it. It looks to be like maybe it's dinky scale. And it looks like maybe this will be one item we can just get right out of the bag for you guys. Wow. So yeah, larger scale cars on this one. I'm going to have to reorient the camera, of course, for you to be able to see this nicely with me. But this is a really heavy duty Corgi built car hauler. Amazing. Okay, let's get the camera sorted out and get some bubble wrap removed. All right, we're going to time lapse the next couple seconds here of me spending many minutes unbubbling these vehicles. We're going to start with the trucks and get everything here on the table so we can go in for a good look at each of the items without all the plastic crinkling sounds. And we are going to finish the video by pouring out this big bag of awesomeness and see what's in there. So without further ado, let's get into cutting this. Okay, what a range of items I've just opened up. We're going to get a look at some of these things a lot closer up, and some of the other stuff we'll just skim over. We've got a whole bunch of these off-brand cars. We'll take a quick look at them, but there's no brands on them, and they're very lightweight. We have some very heavy-duty and well-detailed trucks by various castings from Dinky to Corgi. I don't know what that one is. And, of course, there's another big, awesome Corgi truck. We've got a few vehicles that are identified on their base, but they're very lightweight. Some of them are kind of cool, like the Fiero. We'll take a close look at that. And a couple neat little trucks. These are some, I guess, 1/24 scale cars that I don't really recognize, and I can not read the base because they're so rusty. Some sort of weathering diorama sort of build, I suppose. We've got a mimic toy, so this is mimicking a toy from yesteryear. It's made of plastic and tin. Some really neat looking Volkswagen vans by Gama, so we'll get those out, take a closer look at them. But I think at this point, we're just going to dump the big bag here. There's a Matchbox car with a trophy. It must have been part of some set. But everything else, we're just going to dump it. Look at that. Isn't that fun? Okay, in we go. And now let's take a close look at what Peter sent me. Some really cool stuff. All ranges of brands and scale. There's that Matchbox car. Little cardboard piece of track and some plastic toys. Nice looking car. I've got a big wad of these no-name cars that have no information at all on the bases. Just made in China. So a lot of these, I remember these from my youth. They would often come in like 20 car packs at dollar stores or something. So we're not going to review any of those. Appreciate the generosity on sending me those, but those I don't actively collect, so they will be just going into a box. These vans are really cool by Gama. They're a larger scale, mind you, than what I normally collect, but very heavy and interesting. So I'm not familiar with Gama, made in Germany. Got opening doors on this one, and we will be getting those out of those boxes. Of course, we've got these car haulers. Probably the favorite thing in my entire lot of vehicles here is going to be the Dinky toy truck and the big Ford Corgi. So we're going to look at all of these trucks in close-up detail, and we'll probably start with those after this little review. Yeah, this is just an off-brand toy that has been produced to reproduce some other toy of which I'm not familiar with. So that's the review for that. I don't know anything about these, and it's not something I actively collect. It is very interesting though. I do very much appreciate these diorama cars, which we're going to take a close look at because someone has put a lot of weathering effects and work into these cars, both on the outside, the bottom, and the inside. So we're going to look at both these cars and try to figure out what they are. But they definitely look like really good junkyard cars, and they are all metal, so heavy duty. Two interesting off-brand cars. Got the little road champs with the opening doors, so let's pop those open when I can have two hands to work with here. I still need to set up the tripod, the real toy. Really play-worn Yatming, so I think that basically covers that truck. We're going to just leave that there. And then some fairly common Hot Wheels from the early 1980s. Nonetheless, these are cars I just love collecting, and really anytime I find them, flea markets or yard sales, whatever, I will always pick them up if they are a reasonable price. Play-worn or not, so really nice. We're going to look at all those. Matchbox, a nice selection of Matchbox vehicles, many of which are unfamiliar to me, so ones I don't think I have in my collection. And they look to be released probably around the late 80s, maybe through the 90s, even early 2000s. We've got one newer one there, the Carmen Ghia Volkswagen. Two Majorette Toyota trucks with the opening hoods. Always cool. We've got one with the lifted suspension, one with the regular. So we'll take a look at those as well. Oh, very nice, very nice. The sun has come out and is splashing some light on the table. Kind of gives some interesting effects on the cars. I was hoping that would happen. It's been a gray and blustery start to, or end of March, I should say. We're almost into April. Spring is nowhere in sight. But anyways, we're looking at vehicles, and I don't know if we're going to be able to fit this into the entire camera frame. I just went to all that trouble sorting these cars. Now I'm just pushing them off to the side. Oh, well. So here we go. Steering wheels on this truck. Lots of functionality, so you can get some, yeah, we're just going to make some room here. Get some vehicles to load onto the truck that appear to be about the appropriate scale. So there's a Toyota, and then we've got a little BMW from Matchbox. Loading up, let's slide a Majorette Corvette in there as well if we can. So this whole apparatus, oh, you lost the Corvette. Okay, the Corvette's too wide, and the shocks have lost some of their strength. Oh, it's not even attached, that's why. That looks like I could fix it. We still have the pin, so that probably would work if I can get that pin lined up. But anyways, we're going to do that another time because that's going to take some delicate work and possibly some tools. But here we go. 5 cars you can load up. And then actually once they're loaded, the ramp on the back will rest with that, making it solid again. And then we can go ahead and, no, it doesn't quite fit. Car does not quite fit. Maybe something smaller like the little Carmen Ghia. And there you go. Now there's some interference going on with the light there, so I'm not really sure why that is. These are used toys, of course. They've been previously enjoyed and play-worn, so you never know what is going to exactly happen when that is the case. But there's that pin that I'm talking about. So it's still there, which is great. The other side's attached, which is why it has some strength. And the shear, these things often shear off these connection pins. Now this one is made by Matchbox Super Kings. It's the K10 car transporter. I guess I should have known that from the steering wheels, but I just only have like 1 or 2 of these in my collection. Not this specific truck, so very cool. Lots of detail. It's a larger scale, I'm pretty sure. If it even says it at all, I'd be surprised. K120 on the base. It's a Leyland truck, copyright 1985, and it's in mint condition. So when I say play-worn, I mean it was lovingly enjoyed. It's only got some minor damage, maybe even just from packaging. And without the weight of the vehicles on it, it doesn't seem to have any interference. So that's the Matchbox truck, and now we've got an old Corgi truck. So this is one that Steve and Papa had sent a few of these to me in the past. They were, I think, in tougher condition than this one, or maybe it was Peter. It's hard to remember. Both men have sent me so many items over the years from their collections in Australia. Truly very generous, and I know they like to see them reviewed here on the channel, so that's very enjoyable for both of us, I guess. I enjoy reviewing them. They enjoy seeing their collection and sharing it with the world. And so passed it on to me, where I will obviously care for these vehicles and incorporate them into my, I think I've got about 60,000 cars now that I've bought and collected over the years and received as gifts here and there. So there's a big trailer. These are, like I said, oh, it's a Matchbox. Why was I calling it a Corgi? Going on and on about this and that. And this is a K10 car transport as well. Same trailer. It is the same trailer. So we're not into the Corgi yet. We do have the Corgi, which is, of course, the big red truck at the back. But this is actually a Matchbox. Matchbox Courier, a Bedford Matchbox made in England, 1979. It's a K3 designation on this one. And it still works. Pins are all attached, so this is a fantastic toy, really. Awesome toy. Are we going to do the whole demonstration again? What are we putting on here now? That looks like a little Skoda. A Skoda. I definitely don't have any Skodas in my collection. I'll put a little Porsche 928. A little Ferrari. Yeah, the last one always has trouble fitting, but with even without the ramp there, it can support the weight of the cars. No problem. After all these years of play, just really cool. Okay, on to another car hauler. Now, this one is totally unique to my collection. It is the Dinky Toys delivery service truck. It's extremely heavy and very robust, very well built. Now, the top part does not have any sort of articulation, so you have to use your imagination on how the cars get from here to here. So, I'm not familiar with this vehicle in real life as it is just so old. I would have to do some research on it, which I will. But the toy itself is just so well built. I mean, these old Dinkies are permanently attached at this pivot point. The tires are still on the entire unit, which is incredible. They could be reproduction, but I don't know if they are. I think they are, because looking at the spare tire, which is still there and present, look how dry rotted and worn out it is compared to these other tires. So I imagine it probably lost all of the drive tires a long time ago. It does not appear to have been repainted, which is the most important thing with these old collectibles, unless the paint job is done very well. Dinky Toys is just barely legible on the rusty base. We've got a Bedford here, once again. And Meccano, also that company Meccano is on the base. Pullmore Car Transporter, so there you go, number 582. Extremely cool. Now, I think most normal Matchbox cars will fit this. I would be surprised if most Dinkies fit it, though, as Dinky cars often are a little bit larger. Certain Dinkies would fit this car, no problem, but that is just incredible. So here's a car, the Corgi truck. I kept saying Corgi over and over again. We're finally at the Corgi truck. Again, I gotta make some room back here. The sun is gone, so hopefully the lighting is still working for you guys. This one's got some really good just build quality and design. It looks extremely realistic. Got these Corgi size cars and the ramp. It's got these pivot arms. Really cool, made of metal. Shocks here as well. Now, these cars might be a little bit too big actually for this. Well, this one wheels will fit within the tracks, but this car's wheels are just a little bit wider spaced. They are both Corgis, and I don't know what they are. Ferrari 206 Dino Sport and a Porsche Carrera. Very interesting. Lots of details. Lots of stories these cars could tell over the years, I'm sure. Being enjoyed over and over again. I mean, the doors even open on it. The windows are just about gone. Got a shard left on that one. But incredible. Die-cast metal steering wheel. Pretty incredible. So let's see what it looks like with some smaller scale cars on it. It looks quite good. They've got these slidable, adjustable stops for the vehicles. Also very interesting. And yeah, you can get a lot of vehicles up on this truck. And that looks pretty darn good. Now the cab is definitely, I'm just going to take these cars off so we can look at the whole truck a little closer together here. There's the sun. The cab is just amazing. This big old Ford Bedford. Or why did I say Bedford? It's a Ford. The metal ladder on the side. Metal mirrors are still present. One air horn's broken off. Just iconic. I mean, even the chassis is well detailed with a die-cast drive axle. Drive shaft, I mean. And Corgi Major Toys, it's called. I'm just looking for more wording. Made in Great Britain. Very cool. All metal, like very little plastic on these things. Original tires by the looks of it. Definitely probably the coolest piece here. This and the Dinky truck are just incredible. So while we're looking at larger scale, before we get into a huge assortment of all the Hot Wheels and Matchbox over here, we're going to just take a look at these two weathered vehicles as well as these two vans. So let's do that right now. And then we're going to get into looking at all the other cars which we've got here. I guess I'll just get some of those ready. Look at the Matchbox cars. A few more over on the car hauler there. All right, we're all set. And now for this, looks like it's been opened before, so what I do to make sure I don't crunch the cardboard up is I just kind of pop the end box open with a butter knife or whatever knife you're using. And that way you can still save the packaging for later. Oh, we lost the roof rack. All right, well, there's the van. Let's just take a look at it without the roof rack falling on and off. There's windows in the front. It's got a plastic base made by Exxon Mini 142, made in Western Germany. Put together with flathead screws. Isn't that interesting? Clipped at the front. Plastic wheels. Commode. And you got this luggage rack. Uh-oh. I think I was a little too forceful with something there. That sounded like it broke something. I hope not. It's looks like it's universal. It's the same at both sides. All right, well, you got a luggage rack meant to carry all sorts of good stuff. Very cool van. Oh, I did. I broke some little clip. Ah, darn it. Okay. Well, she ain't mint anymore. That's unfortunate. These vehicles do get brittle in time, so it's always difficult when trying to review them in the moment here with a camera in the way and everything else. It's all good. Sure, we can live without the little clip. This truck has an opening rear hatch and Exxon Rally Service. So Exxon's a fuel company, fuel oil. And there you have both vans. I think that's gonna, yeah, it's not gonna stay because I've broken a clip off. And there's no way I'll be able to glue that back on. So I'll have to come up with another option. It just, I mean, it stays on now. Just a little loose at the back. Either way, pretty cool. 142 scale. So if you put the other cars in front of them, the old Corgi cars, you can see the scale there. And that is awesome. All right, let's take a look at some larger scale vehicles. These things are pretty worn out looking. However, it's completely customized. Custom look cars that would be awesome in a junkyard. So, as I said, I wasn't really able to read the base of these cars, but I think I probably can if I try. This car is a Camel, I think. Made in Western Germany as well. A lot of cars made in Germany. Oh no, that's a number. 125th scale. So some excellent weathering because these cars don't necessarily rust on their own. Diecast is not a metal prone to rusting. So some sort of weathering product has been used. And it's not actually grimy. Like it's not actually coming off on my hand. So this is significant amounts of paint and perhaps other products. Car's in great shape. There's no chips on it or anything. It's just heavily weathered. And if we look inside, there's like leaf matter glued to the floors. We get a focus here. The camera's struggling, even with all the lighting that I have in here. Got like a little newspaper on the door. So it looks like the car has been sitting for a long time. Curious to know if, Peter, did you buy them like this or did you build these? Well, there's the sun, and got some simulated cloth on the front, which could be like a mechanic's rag, or I'm not really sure what that would simulate, but yeah, pretty neat. Let's take a look at this car now. 4-door, transparent taillights, a Senator, it says on the license plate. This one, I believe, is a painted black base. Oh, Gama is the company. That's the same company that made the little vans. Okay, so an interesting model company out of Western Germany.
making high quality, heavy die-cast models. And with that sun, can we get a better look at the interior of this one? Very cool. Zoom in a little bit. Maybe just look right through the window. All sorts of stuff on the seats. Got some little pieces of balsa wood representing some 2x4s. And yeah, very cool. Nice job, whoever did those. And certainly, if I ever build a 1/24th or 1/25th scale junkyard, those cars would have a home immediately in it. I do have a small selection of plastic built model cars that I built years ago and weathered. So most likely I'll put those with them, and maybe one day I can find some space in a home for all that stuff to show you guys again, because it has been a long time in storage. Very cool cars though. And yeah, thank you for those. All right, let's get into the Hot Wheels and Matchbox. We're going to start with the Matchbox vehicles and just kind of zoom through these by opening doors on a lot of these older Matchbox models. Suspension was normal, metal on metal. Porsche 928. Nice little cars. And they always seem to hold up and roll really well too. I think we've got what is this, a Pontiac Fiero? Customized for racing with Gary B and ProTech. Yeah, Pontiac Fiero, 1985. Oh, and we've got the laser wheels, so that was a premium model car, perhaps. Ferrari, pretty common model. 308 GTB. I should know that by just looking at it, but here I am confirming. We've got the little, this is a newer one, I think released in late 2000s, just a play-worn version, little Carmen Ghia. Now the other cars here I don't recognize all that much. So we've got this interesting little car, and that is a Renault 11 with some little flowers on it. Plastic base, still probably from the 80s. Pretty common truck, but very cool. It's a big old Ford F-150, I believe. Flare side is all it says. Very cool. Suspension, those rugged tires, plastic base. And we got the Skoda. It says right on the roof, Skoda. Very cool. Don't have any of those in my collection. It's a 130 LR made in 1986. Now these copyrights don't mean this actual car with this paint job was made at that point, because they obviously repaint them several times over, and the copyright doesn't change because of a repaint. So we don't know for sure when they were made, but here's another one, 85 copyright, Ford Sierra XR4Ti? I don't know. Very cool though. Iconic car in Europe anyways. Don't see them on the roads here in Canada. And in nice condition. I really like that one. That's going to go definitely on the display museum walls. And also, I'm a huge fan of these old, they just nostalgia value, I guess. These old stock cars. The proportions are not very good with the wheels and the fenders, but the cars themselves just remind me of times gone by. Chevy Pro Stocker is what it's called. 1983 copyright. I've got 3. Matchbox did these cars many, many times over the years with all sorts of paint jobs and stuff like that. Different liveries. So we got a Pioneer, 7-Up, Pepsi Cola, and they just look awesome together. So can't wait to get those next to my large collection of these models of cars from Matchbox, because once they're all together, they just look awesome. Should have a little diorama racetrack set up just for them. I've got this neat little oh, it's a Fiat. I call it a BMW. It's a Fiat. Very cool. I definitely don't have any of these in my collection. A Fiat Abarth, 1/53rd scale. I might have one actually. That name sounds familiar, but really cool. The Monster Vet, still has its exhaust stacks, which is pretty incredible given its condition. And those are kind of cool. So that's the Matchbox vehicles. As I had said, I did identify this to be a Matchbox boat, which goes with a trailer, and I think the Studebaker Lark wagon. I believe that's where that goes with. Got this little HO scale plastic truck, which I'm just going to keep all that together. We've only got 3 Majorettes to look at. So again, we've got those 2 trucks. Toyota, the opening hood. What does Majorette call it? 4x4 Toyota pickup. So made in France. Pretty basic names for these vehicles. Heavy duty. Opening parts. Hitches too. The hitches are awesome for towing other Majorette trailers. Got the Corvette. and it's got some very strange proportions, but it's mainly just really off scale for other vehicles. 1/57 scale. It just looks huge compared to a lot of other diecast vehicles. Anywho's, so we got those. We got a bunch of odd stuff there we'll look at last, but now we've got 8 Hot Wheels to look at. Of course, I'm very familiar with Hot Wheels. 1980 release of the Stutz Blackhawk car. I believe this is the second paint job. Originally it was black. Now it's silver. Also common in a dark brown. We've got the 3-window 34. That's the name of the casting. And it's a high raker, 1979 copyright. So high rakers means the axle drops down. It's kind of seized though. We got the Olds 442 stock car. Very cool. That one's released 1983. You can tell because of the gold Hot One wheels and metallic gold paint. Love those axles and wheels. So nice. Ford Bronco. Super awesome casting. I've got a huge box of these things and I just love collecting them. This one's in decent condition, especially given the motorcycle's still there and intact because they're quite fragile, chrome plastic. 1980 release, I believe, 80, 81. 1982 or 83 for this Mercedes 380 SEL. Gold Hot One wheels. Dodge Omni, 1982, I think. 1980, it was in metallic blue. And that's just a really nice little car with great proportions. Very interesting to me. At the time, it was just an economy car for people to purchase and drive cheaply. We got the Vet van here, also a high raker. Released about 1983. Dodge D50 pickup truck, high raker, 1982. The back cap is not removable. So some nice old vintage Hot Wheels, all quite common and should be pretty easy to come by if you're looking for them, if you don't already have those in your collection. Very cool cars of yesteryear. Now, also cool was that this company called Road Champs, they basically copied the Hot Wheel. It's not exactly the same, as the hubcap is more conical and sticks out farther than the flat sides of the Hot Wheel basic wheel. But a Road Champs car, very good quality, even when played with. It's missing a steering wheel, possibly the dashboard, or maybe it was never installed. But a nice proportioned Mercedes. I don't know it's going to have anything written on the base about that. Nope, doesn't appear to. So often just kind of flying by night with their castings, but clearly quite a nice, well-proportioned casting with transparent taillights. Significant playwear and still in great condition. Suspension as well. So I really like these old Road Champs. I love collecting them. They're very interesting. We've got the real toy. This won't be necessarily old. It's just very play-worn. It can't be that old. I have a few real toys in my collection. They have good proportions and good details, nice paint jobs. The Yatming truck has definitely seen better days. The opening tailgate is gone. It's been repainted and destroyed. So here's another Yatming. This is an interesting truck, the California Pickup by Sneaky Pete. It's a Sneaky Pete. So this is based on a real truck. Yatming did repaint it multiple times and came up with many different stickers. They're not painted on, but oftentimes they're stickers, just like this one might be painted on. Okay, so this one is not a sticker. Sometimes they have stickers. I've got this little, what is it? A Play Art. Ooh, a Play Art. Mazda pickup. Very play-worn. It's got a plastic tailgate that opens, drops down. Very small casting, but these are small trucks in real life, so probably fits in pretty well with most other Hot Wheels scale-ish vehicles. Off-brand vehicles, the ones that were kind of interesting to me was just basically two of them. The Fiero here is recognizable and has opening doors, so for that reason, even though it is extremely cheaply made, plastic and no copyright information or even company information. And then I think this is a Mazda RX-7. It's a little crude in its casting, but again, different wheels, so probably different companies altogether. And for the rest of the cars, well, I mean, I recognize this car. It's a Volvo, so that's kind of interesting as well, but like we're getting to such a crude level of diecast that they are not collectible, not displayable, and basically just really good mainly as toys or fillers for your diorama junkyards or train layouts or something like that. And the rest of them, they just kind of go downhill from there. Get some, like, obviously that's a Porsche, and I don't know, the rest of these cars just are not something that you guys are probably going to be overly interested in. Got a couple trucks, but again, what kind of truck is it? This one's okay. It might be a Yatming or something, but it doesn't have a company. It looks like it might be Yatming casting, or it could be a knockoff, but there's no front axle, so that's going to go in the parts bin. And yeah, so, but overall, some really nice stuff here. Super awesome to be able to share all of this with you guys. Thank you again, Pete, for sending me such a generous gift with so much cool stuff. And stick around for the final part 4, which will be a mystery opening of 48 car and 24 car carrying cases full of gold. Happy hunting.